Level 1. Untrained. You were an ordinary person yesterday. The village streets, the markets, the quiet evenings by the hearth, they were all you knew. Magic was something in stories, in the murmured legends told by elders. You never imagined it could touch you. Until the day the prophecy came, the one that marked you as the chosen mage. Suddenly the world shifted, and the ordinary life you knew was gone. At first, your power is raw and uncontrollable. Flames spring from your fingertips without intent. Objects move when your emotions surge, and shadows bend toward you. Every attempt at control is met with failure. A flicker of fear courses through your veins as you realize that your abilities could harm yourself or others. Even the simplest spell seems impossible, as if the universe itself tests your worthiness. Your mentor arrives, a figure cloaked in centuries of knowledge and power. They do not coddle you. Instead, they challenge you to confront your own limitations. Lessons are harsh, patience minimal. You are pushed to focus, to concentrate your mind, and to recognize that magic is as much discipline as it is force. A misstep, and your experiments can be deadly. A wrong word, a misaligned gesture, can send fire where it should not go, or strike a friend instead of a foe. Training begins in earnest. You spend hours meditating to control your mind, practicing gestures, and repeating incantations. Every success is small. A candle flickers, a stone levitates, a leaf spins in the air, but each success builds confidence. The power inside you is vast, but untrained. It is like a wild river, beautiful, dangerous, and unpredictable. Your frustration grows alongside your skill. You stumble, falter, and sometimes despair. Yet each failure is a lesson, each setback a step forward. Even outside the training hall, you feel the pull of your abilities. Animals sense it, the wind shifts around you, and strangers stare, sensing more than they understand. The world has changed. You have changed. Fear is constant, not only of your own power, but of the enemies who would seek to control or destroy you. You begin to understand that mastery will require more than talent. It will demand will, patience, and courage. By the end of this first stage, you are still untrained, still inexperienced, but no longer entirely helpless. You have glimpsed the potential within yourself, and the danger that comes with it. The path ahead is uncertain, filled with trial, danger, and discovery. The ordinary life you knew is gone, and in its place is a world of magic, conflict, and destiny. You are the chosen mage, and this is only the beginning. Level 2. Learn spells. After the raw awakening of your power, your training begins in earnest. The mentor watches you closely, correcting every mistake, every hesitation. Each spell you attempt is a trial. Sparks flare and fizzle, objects wobble then fall, and the air hums with unstable energy. Magic demands precision. Every gesture, every word, every ounce of focus counts. A careless flick can ignite a fire, shatter glass, or worse. You start with the basics, moving small objects, lighting candles, controlling water droplets. The exercises feel tedious at first, but repetition builds muscle memory, and discipline tempers raw talent. Your mind strains to maintain focus. Your body trembles under the exertion. Hours blur into days, yet slowly, the chaos within begins to obey your will. What was once wild now bends, if only slightly, to your intent. The first time you successfully cast a fireball that remains contained in your palm, exhilaration surges through you. Your mentor nods, a rare smile breaking their stoic expression. Yet celebration is brief. Magic is never complete. You are taught elemental control, wards, illusions, and defensive spells. Each new skill introduces complexity, and every failure reminds you that your power is dangerous not only to enemies, but to yourself. Learning spells is not only about memorizing words and gestures, it is about understanding the underlying currents of magic. You study ancient texts, decipher runes, and practice incantations over and over until they become instinct. You feel the flow of energy through your body, the subtle vibrations of the world responding to your command. Control is fragile. Concentration is key. A lapse can result in disaster. Outside the training chambers, the world reacts to you differently. People avoid your gaze, animals sense your presence, and even the elements seem to respond when you walk through forests and rivers. You begin to sense danger before it arrives. You are learning to merge perception with power, to anticipate outcomes, and to react before the world can act against you. By the end of this stage, you are no longer a chaotic conduit of energy. You can summon, control, and direct spells with intention. Yet mastery is distant. The challenges ahead, duels, dark sorcerers, and wars of magic, loom on the horizon. You know that raw talent without discipline can be fatal. Every spell learned is a step forward, every mistake a lesson etched into memory. You are no longer untrained. You are a student of the arcane, and the path toward becoming the Supreme Mage has truly begun. Level 3. Survives Duel. Your first duel comes unexpectedly. Another mage, equally eager to prove themselves, challenges you. The tension is immediate. Every eye in the training hall or secluded glade watches. You feel the pull of adrenaline, the hum of energy in your veins. The duel is more than a test of strength. It is a test of focus, timing, and survival. One slip, one miscast could end everything. At first, your spells are instinctive but uneven. Fire bursts too early, ice forms jaggedly, and your defensive wards wobble under pressure. You realize quickly that dueling is not like training alone. Here, the enemy reacts, anticipates, and counters. Your opponent strikes with precision, probing weaknesses, forcing you to respond instantly. Fear presses on your chest, but you force yourself to breathe, to observe, to act deliberately. You remember your mentor's lessons. Control the flow of magic. Maintain balance between offense and defense. Anticipate your opponent's moves. You shift your stance, channel energy through precise gestures, and let your mind guide the spells rather than letting emotion drive them. Each fireball, each ice shard, each protective ward becomes a statement of intent, not chaos. The duel becomes a dance, energy clashing with energy, sparks lighting the space around you. In the midst of the battle, you make mistakes. A miscalculation sends a shard of ice too far, grazing a tree instead of your opponent. The counterstrike is swift, a bolt of lightning that you narrowly block with a hastily raised ward. Your heart pounds, but panic would be fatal. You slow your thoughts, trust your instincts, and focus on control. Survival depends on calmness as much as skill. Hours feel like minutes as the duel stretches on. You learn to read your opponent, to anticipate subtle shifts in posture, flickers of energy, and breathing patterns. Each spell cast, each dodge, each counter builds understanding. You realize that dueling is not only a test of power, but of patience, perception, and adaptability. Finally, your opponent falters. You exploit the opening with precision, a well-timed spell that forces surrender or retreat. You are exhausted, your body trembling, your magic drained, but you have survived. The duel proves more than your skill. It proves your ability to remain calm under pressure, to make decisions when stakes are life and death, and to trust in your training. By the end, you stand victorious but humbled. Magic is not mastery, and power is dangerous. Every spell you have learned now carries weight. Survival has become a lesson in respect for your own abilities, for the forces you command, and for the challenges that lie ahead. You have faced an equal, overcome, and emerged alive. You are no longer merely a student of magic. You are a survivor, and the journey toward mastery continues. Level 4. Masters Magic. After countless duels, failures, and late-night studies, your magic begins to feel like an extension of yourself. Spells no longer stumble from your hands. They flow naturally, as if your thoughts and the world are one. The elements obey your will with a subtle flick of a wrist, a whispered word, or a glance. You sense the threads of energy in the air and move them with intent rather than force. Your mentor watches silently, no longer intervening as they once did. You practice complex spells, summoning, shielding, illusions, and elemental combinations. Each success reinforces your confidence. Each failure teaches humility. You discover patterns in magic, the rhythm behind casting, the balance between energy expenditure and control. A storm can be called, A shield formed in an instant. Illusions created so convincing, they fool even your own eyes. Control breeds creativity. You experiment, pushing limits without recklessness. Fire can curve around obstacles. Water can form solid shapes. Shadows can mask entire movements. You learn the difference between power and precision. It is not the largest spell that defines mastery, but the most exact. Mastery is subtle, deliberate, and terrifyingly effective. Others begin to notice. Fellow apprentices watch you with awe, and even senior mages respect your skill. You lead practice sessions, demonstrate techniques, and correct mistakes with authority. Your reputation grows, but you remain focused. Vanity is a trap. The danger is in overestimating your control. Magic is alive, and it will punish arrogance. You also understand strategy. Spells are no longer isolated effects. They are tools in a larger plan. You combine magic with foresight, anticipating enemy reactions, shaping battles before they begin. You learn to defend entire positions, control multiple spells simultaneously, and react instinctively to unpredictable threats. Your presence on the field now shifts the tide of skirmishes before a weapon is drawn. By the end of this stage, you are not just skilled. You are confident, precise, and adaptable. Magic has become second nature. You are no longer merely reacting to the world. You shape it. Your mastery opens the path to challenges beyond any duels or tests. Battles against dark sorcerers, commanding forces, and leading in ways that will define your destiny. You are no longer a student. You are a mage who commands respect, whose abilities are feared, and whose knowledge has begun to rival the legends. The path ahead will demand not just strength, but wisdom and leadership. And you are ready. Level 5. Defeats Dark Sorcerers. The first threat appears under cover of night. Dark sorcerers, wielders of forbidden magic, strike with cruelty and cunning. Villages burn, shadows move unnaturally, and whispers carry dread. You are no longer practicing spells in a safe hall. You face real enemies, ones who kill without hesitation and wield power you have only glimpsed in books. You study them first, learning patterns, weaknesses, and their dark energy. Direct confrontation would be suicidal. Careful planning and strategy are essential. You prepare wards, illusions, and traps, combining your mastery of elements with timing, positioning, and foresight. Every step, every spell is calculated. Even a small mistake could allow them to turn the battle against you. The first clash tests everything you have learned. Lightning and fire collide. Shadows twist into unnatural forms, and wards shatter with energy that strains the mind. You feel the pressure of their intent, malice, cunning, and hunger for destruction. Yet you hold your focus, channeling magic with precision. You counter attacks with shields, redirect spells with reflection wards, and strike where their defenses falter. The battle is exhausting. Energy drains quickly. Every spell requires concentration and control. You summon storms to disrupt them, weave illusions to mislead, and manipulate the battlefield itself. Your environment becomes part of your arsenal. Rocks rise to block paths, winds shift to hinder movement, and flames dance to herding foes into traps. Their dark magic is powerful, but your control is steadier. Finally, you exploit an opening. A misstep in their concentration, a hesitation, and you strike decisively. One sorcerer falls, another is forced to retreat. You have not only survived, but triumphed. The victory is hard-won, earned through skill, preparation, and understanding. The lives of innocents are preserved, and the threat is diminished, though never fully gone. By the end, you realize the cost. Each duel leaves marks, physical, mental, and magical. Yet the victory cements your reputation. You are no longer merely a mage who practices spells. You are a protector, a strategist, and a force to be reckoned with. Dark sorcerers respect your skill, and allies trust your judgment. Your mastery has been tested in fire, and you have emerged stronger, ready for challenges that demand leadership, command, and courage beyond the battlefield. Level 6. Controls. Army, your mastery of magic has grown, and now your responsibilities expand. You no longer fight alone or with a small circle of allies. You command an army of mages, warriors, and allied creatures. Thousands look to you for guidance, strategy, and protection. The battlefield is no longer personal. It is a theater of coordination, timing, and overwhelming force. Planning becomes as critical as casting. You study maps, assess enemy positions, and anticipate their movements. Your magic is now a tool for orchestration. Elemental spells reinforce fortifications. Illusions conceal troop movements, and wards protect key positions. Every soldier, every mage, every unit depends on your foresight to survive. You are not only casting spells, you are shaping the tide of war itself. The first campaign under your command is relentless. Skirmishes erupt across forests, hills, and rivers. Supplies must be managed, reinforcements timed, and morale maintained. Your magic is central, but so is leadership. You issue commands, direct operations, and intervene when enemies exploit weaknesses. You adapt constantly, blending strategy and raw power, ensuring your army moves as one unit. On the battlefield, you are a conductor. Lightning strikes at your signal, fire shields protect your forces, and illusions mislead the enemy into traps. You anticipate enemy attacks, counter them preemptively, and exploit openings. Every victory requires thought, timing, and relentless vigilance. The lives of your soldiers are yours to protect, and failure is unacceptable. Through these campaigns, you earn their trust and loyalty. Your decisions carry weight. Your presence inspires courage. Mages and warriors alike follow your commands without hesitation, knowing your judgment has been tested in battle and proven sound. You are no longer a single warrior. You are a force, a strategist, a leader whose mastery extends from spellcraft to command. By the end of this stage, you understand the balance of responsibility and power. Controlling an army is more than magic. It is coordination, foresight, and discipline. You have become a commander whose decisions shape the battlefield, whose power protects allies, and whose skill challenges even the most dangerous foes. You are ready for the ultimate tests, where your abilities, leadership, and will define not just battles, but entire wars. Level 7. Supreme Archmage. After years of training, duels, and commanding armies, you have reached the pinnacle. Your power flows effortlessly. Your spells precise and devastating. Your strategy flawless. You are no longer a student, a warrior, or a commander. You are the Supreme Archmage. The world itself bends to your will, and your influence stretches across kingdoms and battlefields alike. Enemies fear your presence. Dark sorcerers whisper your name in dread. Armies hesitate at the mere rumor of your approach, and magical phenomena respond to your intent before you act. Your mind can weave multiple spells simultaneously, control vast armies, and manipulate the battlefield with the subtlety of a master. You do not fight recklessly. Every action is calculated to achieve maximum effect with minimal waste. Your responsibilities are immense. Cities depend on your protection. Kingdoms rely on your judgment, and allied mages look to you as both leader and teacher. You oversee campaigns that span hundreds of miles, anticipate threats before they arise, and manage forces that would overwhelm ordinary generals. Magic is not simply power. It is the instrument through which you maintain balance, enforce justice, and deter chaos. Even at this level, the lessons of your earlier years guide you. Precision, patience, and humility remain vital. You know that arrogance can undo even the greatest mage. You balance power with wisdom, strength with restraint. You train the next generation, passing on knowledge, skill, and discipline. You are both protector and architect, shaping the future of magic itself. Despite your unmatched power, the weight of responsibility is constant. The lives of thousands, the stability of nations, and the balance of magical forces depend on your choices. Each decision echoes far beyond the battlefield. You have learned to bear that weight, to act decisively, and to accept the consequences of your power. At last, you stand as the Supreme Archmage. Your mastery of magic is unparalleled, your leadership unquestioned, your legacy assured. You have risen from an untrained novice to a being whose skill, wisdom, and courage shape the world. You are the embodiment of magical perfection, the living symbol of discipline, strategy, and power. The path was long, dangerous, and demanding, but you have emerged supreme.